Good morning. It is Tuesday. It's 8:30. That means it is time for a little tea and wild thoughts with your girl, the beauty influencer. Hey Miracle, good morning. 30 minutes of dialogue with me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, folks. Welcome. I guess y'all got some time on your hands today. That is beautiful. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Of course, got to get the vibe right. You know how I do it. So, definitely want to hear how you all are feeling about coronavirus. Lord knows we have been bombarded with it over the past week or so. I'll definitely share how I'm feeling about it. Of course, I'm going to do a little housekeeping first. Gonna share love spray from my store, the self-care store. It has rose quartz and amethyst. Some of you all have used it before. Based in rose quartz, rose oil, lavender. It's bullshit. Not the spray, but the coronavirus. Yeah. We can really get into it. But you can find it, the link in my bio. I also have my showroom in Charlotte. If you are there, feel free to come through. I am drinking plantain leaf this morning. The benefits, it has respiratory benefits, immunity booster, digestive health, skin health, cleans the blood, the whole nine. So again, we've been taking care of ourselves this whole time. Things are not as panicky. And you know what to do to kind of maintain and keep your health together. So, plantain leaf. Look it up. It's good stuff. That's what I'm drinking this morning. I'm also going to do a little sage to get started. And I will be doing some workshops on energy clearing and the gua sha and everything else that I'm doing. So stay tuned for those. So I'm sending y'all some good vibes this morning. Keep the energy good. You gotta keep the energy good. So anywho, yes, coronavirus. Who knew that we would be experiencing like a fucking plague? Right? Like, of course we see it online. We saw it in China. We saw everything, starting to come over to the U.S. Really across the world. I think what really hit me was when it was like Italy just shut down completely. I was like, whoa, okay, this is pretty wild. But I think what is scarier to me, of course, more than the virus itself, because when you really read the information that's about the virus and what it does to your body and how it affects your body. It's similar to a flu. Of course, you keep hearing that it's a lot more intense, but you get the sore throat. It affects your respiratory system. But again, it's kind of like the flu. And so what is blowing my mind is the fear propaganda, the amount of just fear and panic that is surrounding this thing, and how you can't even really blame the media, because again, being a person who was trained in journalism, the media responds to what we respond to. So, if that's what they think you want to hear, that's the current story, that's what they're going to keep running with. Of course, President Trump, I mean, can we go ahead and I don't understand how anybody can feed into his leadership at this point. Like, it is just, it's amazing to be a part of this time of history. Like, it genuinely is. And again, it just blows my mind on a daily basis, the way the fear is snowballing around it. I find that I definitely, and if you were with me last week or got a chance to watch it, I was already talking about how the past few months that I had taken kind of away from social media was really giving me some time to get into self-soothing, in other ways that weren't around social media, because I was getting so tired of just people's opinions and just everything that people were saying. just people trying to tell you how to think, basically. And again, I try to be a person who is suggestive, and tries to promote you to think for yourself as much as possible. I'm not trying to plant any seeds of what you should be thinking. Good morning. And again, I welcome you all to dialogue and share with me how you're feeling about things. We can talk, we can ask questions. There's a question, little marker down there at the bottom if you have any questions for me. But yeah, so anyway, got my little notes here. What is the most interesting to me is not the virus itself, but the way individuals are reacting to it. I guess going to this, again, we don't want to take it too lightly. And I would never say that it's not that serious. I'm not one of those people. Because I do think it's better to be prepared. My mama used to say it's better to have and not need than to need and not have, So I'm definitely a part of that bandwagon. And of course, if people are panicking, you want to be prepared just for the sheer fact that people are panicking so much. But again, I've been out quite a few times. I was out over the weekend. It seemed to be business as usual. But again, it seems to be, we're kind of falling into two different categories where there's like people who are completely absorbed with what the media is telling them and the information that the media is giving. And then there are those people who are kind of like choosing to think for themselves. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who thinks for themselves is thinking in a rational way. I prepared because of how folks are acting more than the corona. Absolutely. Because again, even if nothing happens and then you freaking go out 2 days from now and you don't have no toilet paper to wipe your ass, that's going to be a problem, is it not? So we got to kind of roll with the flow of things. But again, just encouraging people to think for self. What bothers me, again, fear is such a poisonous mindset to be in. Fear itself can cause people to just react in the weirdest and most terrible ways. So that's what scares me more than anything. Again, I personally keep my immune system pretty strong. I live with an elderly person. My parents are elderly, so I understand the risks that are involved. My father's diabetic. These are all qualities that they're telling us to be mindful of. But at the same time, I don't choose to live in fear every single day of, what's going to happen. Because the reality is, too, that if that's what's going to happen to you, that's what is destined. That is what is meant to happen. And there are tons of other ways that we could die every single day. Yeah, I wipe my shopping cart, too. I use the wipes. I sure do. Every single day. And that's part of what I'm going to get to as well. That, of course, yeah, it is indeed serious. We're not underestimating that. And this reality of it versus the propaganda. The reality is that we should always be taking the best care of ourselves and our loved ones that we possibly should be. Are we not? Like, why were we not doing this before? And I put up a post last week just saying, like, perhaps coronavirus is an opportunity. Like, I genuinely see this as a universal way of balancing things, forcing us to slow down, forcing us to pay attention, forcing us to take some time. That was another point that I made last week about what that time away was really teaching me, and part of it was just to give things time to balance itself out and work itself out. That has happened since the beginning of time. There's going to be a balance to all of this, so we can't get caught up completely in the moment. So yeah, we should always be taking the best care of ourselves and our loved ones. All kids could benefit from a little more time at home. I truly believe that. Again, yes, we have lots of kids who have needs that are unmet, but the reality is too that those needs weren't being met before this happened, and the community could have, should have, and should continue to be engaged in balancing and helping those kids out, these communities that are underserved. Is it not an opportunity to give us a chance to really care about folks and step in those who have it to give and have it to share. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I also don't see it as an opportunity to bash, like that's starting to get on my nerves too. You should have been and you could have been. Again, that's what I'm talking about when we talk about getting on social media and people's opinions to the point where it's just fucking annoying, like stop telling people what they should have. If you're not going to be a part of the solution, then shut up. You don't hear me. I personally don't have a lot to share right now, in terms of finances or anything like that. So I'm not telling people what they should be doing about that. Spend the time that you have as efficiently and wisely as you possibly can. Community should always be helping those in need. Supporting local business has always been important. We're hearing all these things about people who buy a gift certificate, for those local businesses. Those are great suggestions. I guess my concern tends to be we don't want that to stop when things get better. Like, hopefully this is something that plants a seed that we could all just continue. I mean, social distancing, yes, there are events that are canceled, and we all want to be around our loved ones, of course. And just my personal opinion, again, I'm not staying away from people that I love if I'm not feeling bad, like I don't think that we have to go completely overboard with it. If you haven't been anywhere, I'm the type of person who's in the house most of the time. I don't really do a lot in public unless I'm just going to the store or just doing things that I have to do, but I'm not like out at clubs or anything like that. So me personally, the risk of getting sick in that type of way is pretty low. So I'm gonna see my people. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. And again, keep my immune system together. Try to keep my household as healthy as I possibly can. So that's just my choice. I don't know about y'all. And life will balance itself out. Good morning, love. Good morning. Life will balance itself out naturally, and we are never as in control as we really think that we are. It's all an illusion, folks. Again, there's just this constant coexistence that is going on, the light and the shadows. And yes, coronavirus is a real deal thing, but so is life. Like, just because I think what coronavirus just represents is it's like death. That death is here, death could be around the corner, and the reality is that shit exists every single day. You could still go out, you get hit by a bus, you could still go out. There's other ways that you can die besides coronavirus, and that's not to be pessimistic. That is to encourage to live every single day. That is encouraged to live in the moment. That is encouraging you to find the best ways to live your life and create beauty in your life as much as you can at the moment. Why spend that being riddled with fear? The reality of that does exist, so again, we got to be quarantined. If we got to be in the house, hopefully, we're doing things that promote our thinking, promote us to really think about what we want to be doing with our time here, with our time on this earth, and how we can be helping each other as much as possible. And not only in this moment, but maintaining that, creating consistency with that. Something that I have become really aware of over the past, couple months or so is that, a lot of what I talk about and things that I think about, it takes some time to digest, and I'm not saying that like I just, the smartest person in the world or anything like that, but you have to have some space and some time to really sit with yourself and even contemplate. And most people are on such a tight schedule, you know, they're in such a routine with their regular jobs, their children, things that, you know, they just have to do. Again, it's no judgment on anybody's situation, but most people don't have nor take the time to really digest and think about things. And so you have to have some mental space to even, again, just be able to kind of dialogue with yourself, sit with yourself, and really pay attention to things. And so again, I see this coronavirus as an opportunity for everyone. You know, it has on a level been forced upon us that everybody now has a little time. I mean, even the amount of people that showed up to the conversation this morning is because we have time. You have a little more time, you know, to join a conversation, to do some things, you know, that you want to do. Sit with self, you know. Again, I'm encouraging people to get their journals out and figure out what you want to manifest. Like, what's coming next, you know. Like, that's a beautiful opportunity. That's not scary. That's nothing to complain about. You know, it's showing us that, again, these jobs and places, you can work from home, you know. You can. It's showing us what we have the possibilities to do, you know. And the reality is that the both sides always exist. You know, again, like, you can look at the side that's making us be home and take it as a negative, you know, because, again, there are some people, it's interesting to see how each person, how others are choosing to deal with the discomfort of it. I've seen quite a few people online, and I try, again, so hard not to judge, but who use it as this kind of opportunity to victimize themselves in their situation. Like, oh, you know, I'm having to be here with my kids. Hey, you decided to have children. Like, why would you want to spend time with your kids? And why is that so abnormal? You know, oh, I thought I wanted to homeschool, but then, hey, again, I don't have children. I don't know what it feels like to be, but I also don't have them because I don't have that mental capacity at the moment, you know, to share on that level. And if you did, and that was the choice you made, then yeah, we need to find some beauty in that situation. You know, my mom is another person who just can be very fearful, especially when it comes to anything about health, you know, and just this seems to be the perfect environment for her to, I went outside. I hope I didn't get it. It's like, girl, you know, again, the reality of something that can happen to you in your health, that percentile exists every single day. You know, this is not, good morning. This is not just a situation for you to sit here and try to make me feel worse about, you know, where you at with your health. Like, that's how you choose to focus on it, so be it. But you don't have to penetrate that into me. Not to penetrate that into me. I don't choose to look at it that way. So again, I try not to judge. I think that the way these are only situations, and, you know, now it's coronavirus, you know, before it was like Kobe, and we have all these situations that just continue to show us how we are dealing with uncomfortable moments. I see coronavirus as a vehicle to explore, you know, how do you experience pain? How do you navigate it? How do you navigate these things that are bothering you? You know, do we just project it all out into society and on social media? You know, are we taking that opportunity to engage with loved ones, inform loved ones, be a part of the changes that we want to see? You know, how do we use that time of discomfort? That's all coronavirus is, you know. And again, you know, Idris Elba, I mean, he got it. He got it. You know, tomorrow is promised to no one. It's not based on your looks. It's not based on any of that. I feel like this makes it all very human. This is beyond race. This is beyond class levels. This is beyond, your health is a pure and simple thing. We all gonna die. We all get sick. We all have blood running through our veins. This situation is very, very human. And hopefully, again, it's an opportunity to really focus on humanity. So, yeah. Of course, I am interested in how it is affecting people. Again, I'm an entrepreneur. I kind of make my own schedule over the weekend. I really let my clients decide what they wanted to do. I didn't try to make any big announcements about how I'm being clean. My standards have always been my standards. They trust me, thank God for that. And I trust them. I trust the people that are coming in the door, Again, I just, for me, coronavirus, that's how I experience pain. I try to take it as an opportunity to learn all the time. Make things better. And make things be a part of the solutions, in a different type of way. So I already promote healing. I already suggest that, that's my personal standard. So that hasn't changed. But, if my clients were feeling any different, I totally respect that and allow them to make their own decisions. And I had plenty of clients. I still have people who are booking right now. So in terms of me and my community, fear doesn't seem to be a thing that is a huge part of our mindset. Mindfulness, absolutely, not fear. So yeah. So I'm interested and curious to people who do have, the everyday jobs, who aren't able to go to work, how these things are affecting them. Another friend of mine, worked in the school system. In fact, he thought that, since the government had shut down the schools, that he wasn't supposed to go to work, but he actually was. So again, we have to be really careful of what we're listening to and how we incorporate that into the reality of our life and what's going on in the here and now. We can't just completely trust everything that you hear online and in the media. You have to consciously and mindfully apply that to your life. Take what you can, filter out the rest, let it go. So I'm going to share the wild thought of the day. Says, can you even remember what you were upset about a year ago today? Perhaps what's bothering you right now could turn out the same way next year. Determine the way you think about it right now. Improve or repeat. Unless I looked in my Facebook memories or something, I couldn't tell you a year ago today what exactly was upsetting me. 9 times out of 10, it's something I don't even freaking remember. And I think that I've been trying to pay attention to the quiet moves that the government is making while they are being loud about this virus. Absolutely. I personally know that the government is been on some bullshit. It's created on bullshit, and it's gonna be about some bullshit. So that doesn't even surprise me at this point. Again, I think that this has been an opportunity to show communities what we can do for ourselves beyond what we depend on the government to do. They don't have to tell you the truth. They never have. That reality has been here. So I think I personally have stopped depending on them for just about anything in my life. And I tend to stay that way. So I don't get upset. I don't get upset when they do what they do, what they've been doing. It's a system. It's been working that way. So, plantain leaf, if that's my way of helping myself from coronavirus, they don't have nothing to do with that. It's cool. So, yeah. if I can't remember what I was upset about a year ago, I mean, who knows what we'll be saying about coronavirus a year from now. The choice is ours right now in this moment, to choose how we want to think about it, how we want to use the opportunity. Doesn't have to be fear-based. And it doesn't mean that we have to ignore it, but how will we use it? How do we use it now, to not repeat something next year? You know, again, these families who have different needs. If you have Cash App, you can invest in the stock market today for $1. Hey, YouTube University. There's a lot that can be learned. I mean, I personally, again, you know, like, I get it with the beauty professionals, the whole nine. Like, I'm not going to get my nails. I've done my own hair. I have done my own nails. I had to take it off. But there's tons of things that we can be learning right now. We have time. Time is the most valuable thing that we have. That's one thing you cannot get back. You cannot get back. And if you got a few days, you know, again, you know, love on your loved ones, love on your kids, call somebody. There's a lot that can be done instead of feeling all of this time with memes and social media and everything to continue to perpetuate fearful mindset. I just think it could be a lot more effective. Yeah. So I am just wishing you all another amazing day. I mean, it's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Just because it's, you know, we got coronavirus going on, doesn't mean, I mean, I'm still here. I'm doing Teen Wild Thoughts, which almost wasn't going to happen. But again, I'm committed to doing this really for self, you know. I love to dialogue with you guys, and I want to continue to dialogue with you guys. But understand that that's a personal commitment to even get up here on Tuesday mornings and do this. So regardless of what happens in life, and, you know, I say life is like juggling right now. You know, you get these balls and you got them, you know, you got about 5 of them and you're really good at it. And then life is going to throw another one in there and it's going to throw you off. And then you're going to have to figure out how to, you know, juggle those nicely. That's all that life is, and it's going to continue to be that way. It's not going to stop. So coronavirus is just one of those vehicles of the day, of the moment. There'll be another one. Watch. And all that this will do is continue to create opportunities to see more and more how we react to it, how the people in our community react to it, how the people in our circles react to it. No judgment. Just be aware. Be aware. Check out my Joy Taught Me page. I have more tips and tools to help you create a beautiful life. Hopefully I share something there that is helpful to you. Feel free to share. Check that out. I also have my self-care store page. And when I have the time, I update these things and share as much as I possibly can. But again, life is consistently happening here with me. So I don't even be tripping no more. I share when I can. I chat when I can. I offer what I can when I can. And other than that, I let God do the rest. So I love y'all. I hope that you have an amazing day. And don't let this shit get to you too bad. Be mindful. Wash your damn hands. Take care of yourself. Love yourself as much as you possibly can. You should be doing that all day, every day, regardless of a freaking virus. So, yeah. The Beauty Influencer, Tea and Wild Thoughts. God willing, I will see you again next week, Tuesday at 8:30. Peace.